notice on August 4th, 2023, through the posting and notification of the press in accordance with Wisconsin 19.84. Notice is hereby given that school board members who are not members of this committee may attend this meeting so as to constitute a quorum of the Board of Education. Any such board member attendance will be for information gathering only and will not result in direct decision making by the Board of Education at the committee. Thank you, Denise, for getting me back on track. I'm moving first to the safety message, and my safety message has to deal with concussion tips. Last year I did a little focus on some pedestrian safety. This year I'm going to be talking about some concussion issues. Our family was hit with, one of our children has suffered multiple concussions at a very early age. Through freak accidents, not related to any sports, but I think because of this, I've become much more aware of the seriousness of concussions, especially in children. And so I like to kind of advocate for some continuous communication about that. Just so we're all aware, a concussion is a brain injury that leads to symptoms such as headache, dizziness, and confusion. Concussions happen when someone has a blow to the head or the head is shaken back and forth with great force. It's important to try to prevent concussions because they can cause long-lasting serious effects on the brain. So here are a few things just generally that you can do to prevent concussions. Of course, not all concussions can be prevented, but you can take steps to try to reduce the opportunity. So obviously checking in with coaches to make sure that they are following the rules to reduce the risk of concussions, such as limits on tackling or heading the ball. If you're a cheerleader, always have spotters for stunts and make sure that the coach will take you out of play for any head injury. Another one I'm seeing here is never hide a head injury. Sometimes I think this might happen with some of our younger players, but you should always stop the sport or activity that caused the head injury and go to a parent or coach or teacher right away. And wearing a helmet also is very important for skiing, snowboarding, biking, riding a scooter, skateboarding, rollerblading. A concussion can still happen while wearing a helmet, but a helmet can protect you from a skull fracture and a very serious brain injury. And then another one is use your seatbelt every time you're in a car. Those are just a few things, and I'll continue with more information on concussions at our next meeting. I know you're excited to hear about it. Moving on to 1.3, I need a motion to adopt the August 4th, 2023 agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay. We are moving forward with our agenda and moving to the presentation and consider moving to full board our student parent handbook updates. Mr. Garner, thank you. Any questions? None? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that was short and sweet. Thank you very much. Okay, next, presentation and consider moving to full board employee handbook updates. I guess you're just staying up there, Mr. Garner.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Any questions? One question that we had that I brought in was the question on, now I need to find it because we're just moving through this all faster than I anticipated, which is fine. I asked a question about remind me what my question was.
Workman's comp.
Workman's comp. And I know we were going to be looking into providing clarification on that.
Yeah, so in consultation with Scott, Superintendent. Thank you. In consultation with Superintendent Holzman, we decided to remove the examples and just leave it as is, as it was last year, the statement. It's on page 34 of the staff handbook.
That's perfect. Thank you. I really appreciate everyone evaluating that. Are there any other questions?
If I could just add that a comment that the actual employee handbook recommendations will be considered at the next board meeting, not this Tuesday, but the following. So if you do have any questions or there's something, it just gives us a little bit more time as a committee to review, and if there's something in there you have questions on, we'd make an adjustment. But again, these are overview opportunities where we will bring forward the student handbook because it's a little more timely. Got to make sure we have that tomorrow night.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Normally, we have a little more, a larger gap in between PPC and our larger board meetings, and so that gives a little more carryover to evaluate everything. So are there any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, that gets moved on to the full board. Now I need to get back on track. Job fair and staffing updates. You're up again.
Yeah, pretty excited to tell the board about our first job fair ever here in Janesville. We held it here in the ESC. All these, the rooms here were divided up, and you're sitting in the holding room for the job fair. We had a total of 63 candidates, potential candidates, walk through the door. Of the 63, we are moving forward and looking at approximately 54 candidates. I'm putting together an email right now to our directors, to our leadership team in the buildings, as well as our managers throughout the district, to please reference that list. If they have vacancies, they certainly can access that. We currently have 13 certified staff vacancies. The majority of those are special education or dealing with OT or PT. We also have 74, and that sounds like a lot, but it is a lot, but it isn't a lot when you consider we have 1,600 staff. We currently have 74 non-certified positions that are vacant at this time or in process of being filled. So the job fair itself, I exceeded my expectations as well as many others. We did not expect that many people to be here, but we're very pleased that we had 43 people on the first day and 43 plus, it's 20 on the second day show up. That's correct. Yeah, I had to do math. But we had the process in place. I want to thank the director team. I want to thank the administrators who helped out to interview candidates, my own team from the HR department, our team from HR and benefits, who assisted in that, including Wayne Boardman, who met and greeted the people who walked through the door. And it was just an overall team effort that we really appreciate. Joyce Greenwood Ertz also assisted with the planning, a tremendous amount with the planning, and we consulted with each other quite a bit on this. So, yes.
So over the 2 days, what was the length of time that you saw those 63? Was it was it 2 hours on one day and 2 hours? Just remind me.
So we did, I have to think about this, we started at 1:30 on the first day, 1:30 to 5. So 3.5, does that sound, 4.5 hours the first day, and then 8 to 11:30 on the second day.
Okay, it's a good number for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was
for
a
that
steady
time frame.
flow. We didn't get too slow. I mean, it was a good flow of people.
Okay, thank you.
Was it, were the jobs that, or the job seekers coming in, there seem to be heavy in one area, or was it a good smattering, or?
Interesting, you asked me that question, Commissioner Myers. We are moving forward with recommendations of 6 teachers, 24 paraprofessionals, 9 school nutrition candidates, 10 custodial services candidates, and 5 potential substitutes. So, yeah.
Are these like, just average substitutes, or are these gonna be permanent, like on-staff kind of substitutes?
These are subs that we would look to hire to fill jobs for us. We wouldn't hire like permanent in terms of like assigned to a building kind of.
Like on staff kind of a thing, or is it?
They would be part of our sub pool. They wouldn't, yeah.
Okay, great, good.
I'm really appreciative that we did this. I was super excited. I heard a lot of feedback from random people in the community saying, hey, I hear you're having a job fair, and people were excited about it. And I had other staff members just at different schools who knew there were vacancies were reaching out to me saying, have you heard anything? I'm I'm really hoping we can fill some of these vacancies. And so even staff members in the district were excited to see this happening. And then, of course, people after the event were asking me how it went, and I was able to see Patrick over the weekend, and I got some preliminary information so I could start reporting out to people. So
Yeah.
I am very grateful. I am excited to, I hope it continues. And I also want to say I appreciate that the time frames were adjusted each day, obviously very thoughtfully done so that we could, reach people who might have different schedule availabilities. I wonder if we have any vacancies, if we're noticing mid-year, if it would be something that we would consider mid-year, a smaller one.
That's actually something that Mark and I have been discussing, to hold one in January or December prior to that semester graduation time. So, yeah, just try and capture anybody who might be able to, really.
Wonder if there would be a tie-in with a summer school, something, I don't know, because I know that there were some vacancies that were not always filled for summer, especially some of those paraprofessional positions too. At least it seemed like maybe there were some college kids that got hired or whatever, but anyway, I just think it's a great idea. And also, I think some people, it's a less stressful way. You could just pop in and see what information you might be able to get versus just sending your resume and straight applying. So for someone who might be a little more timid to just submit things, ask questions, it's a much more personable approach. So I really like it, and I'm so grateful for all the people that put forth effort to try to just, try something new. So thank you.
Yeah, so we did have a few that we had a sign-in sheet, and they were able to put what positions or what department they'd be interested in working for us, and some put any, or I don't know. And so what I did, I pulled those people aside, there's about 8 of them, and just talked with them about the different positions that we have available and the responsibilities and what their credentials were. And then we kind of directed them to the correct spot. So that was, I found very helpful, because they just literally didn't know. So it helps inform them.
I just want to make a comment that I appreciate the outside of the box thinking and a different strategy for helping recruit. So I really appreciate that. I know it was probably, as you said, a big task to organize and to pull off, but I do appreciate the effort, and I think it's one that will help people be attracted to the school district of Janesville. In addition to, I think sometimes there's a veil out in the community or a curtain drawn about how to apply. We've talked about that in different areas, especially when it comes to that wonderful website that people don't understand. So
We can.
yeah,
Yeah.
gotta love We Can. So I just appreciate that, because sometimes when it's in person, again, like Commissioner Paul said, it's more personable, and you can actually walk them through what those steps look like if they don't understand how to go from point A to point B. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, a shout out should go out to Superintendent Holzman for his thinking and his leadership on this as he pushed this forward, and we made it happen with a lot of teamwork. So, yeah.
I just add that there was some risk because we had no idea if anybody was coming. Right? I mean, we had people sitting in here ready to go, potentially interview, the front desk all ready, and then actually the directors and I were in a meeting doing some long-range planning, and you started to see people come by, right? And some people come by. And I didn't see this, but Denise mentioned that she saw a person who had been in here maybe an hour later walk by, and on the sidewalk, the person stopped and went. And so I think we got somebody. And, in the scope, we also have the names of 60 potential employees who we did not have on Wednesday at this time.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
so that, I mean, in the end, even if we don't come to an agreement with all of these folks who are interested, we have the names of people who are interested. And we've got a few things, we go, well, next time we do this, probably we'll go out to a school because we just need a little bit more space and what that looks like. But I would anticipate that the job fairs will happen again. And depending on what we're looking for and what the timing is, we could probably do something in the spring when we're looking at teachers and summer school and summer help and all those kind of things that will be helpful. because it is a lot of organization to his department, but it really was 5 hours of our time. That's what it costs, a little bit of advertising and 5 hours of our time. We're gonna give that if we could get another 20 or 30 people, we don't know. So kudos to those folks for helping us.
Okay, thank you so much. We are moving on to new employee onboarding and training. Dr. DeGraff.
We are excited next week to welcome all of our new staff to the school district of Janesville. And in talking a little bit with HR last week, it sounded like we had over 70 staff that will be welcoming to our new teacher orientation and new staff orientation. And I know that number is increasing every day. So, but we are excited to welcome them to our school district and to, as they come into our school district, to get to know a little bit more about our community, as well as the school district of Janesville, and to really help them feel that we know that this was a choice they made to come to our district and how much we value them. Because we know there's a competitive market out there now, so it's really even more important than ever to make sure that they feel valued and welcome. He's not touching anything. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll try it again. Try it one more time. There we go.
Let me know when you need a slide switch.
So as we look at next week, thank you for your patience. As we look at next week, so starting Tuesday will be the first day, so it's kind of a week-long kickoff for our new staff. On August 15th, as you're familiar with the bus tour that we will have, so that our new staff have an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about the community of Janesville. That's been in collaboration with Forward Janesville as well. They've been very supportive in the planning, as well as helping us gather some swag from the school district and different businesses and community members. They'll have an opportunity to have lunch as well with our new staff. And then also in the afternoon, we're doing something a little bit different. They're going back to Craig High School, and we're ensuring that they have their device so that they will actually get their Chromebook or their laptop so that they are ready for the rest of the week for the training. We've had that challenge before where we're trying to get them devices, make sure that they can log in, and all of that will be taken care of in the afternoon on the 15th. So that on Wednesday, when they come to Parker on the 16th, this will be our certified staff. We will welcome our certified staff to Parker. Superintendent Holtzman will be there to provide the welcome. We also use it as a time to introduce our directors, the coordinators in the Learning and Innovation Department, because really the focus this day is around getting to know about their curriculum and instruction needs in the district as well. So once they've had a chance to be, with a welcome and meeting the directors, then they'll kind of go into a rotation. And throughout that rotation during the day, they'll learn things a little bit about educator effectiveness. So what's your teacher evaluation system? What should you expect in the first year? And their principal will go over that a little more with them when they're in their building as well. We will spend time showing them, now that they have their laptop and technology tools, how do you access some of your digital curriculum, and how do you get to our specific websites that support our curriculum. We also want to spend some time with our new staff in emphasizing the importance on building relationships at the very beginning of the year with your students and how important that is. to really build the foundation. If your students don't have a relationship with you and understand routines and procedures, then it'll be really difficult throughout the year to, teach the students. And so that will be another important station that they'll also rotate to. We also share our district data. So where are we at? We want to be transparent. Like, here are the strengths in our districts. Here are some of the challenges. What does some of our subgroup data look like? We want them to know, what does the demographics of the students look like that you're going to see when you walk into that classroom next week? And so that they're a little bit prepared for that and are thinking about that. And then we also walk them through our professional development hours, and what does that, how many do they need to earn, and how does that impact when they're moving on the salary structure as well. Then every year, the JEA likes to come in and provide lunch for them and just have a conversation with them at lunch and welcome them as well and let them know what support they can provide them. Then on the 17th, so the new teachers will they will go to their building that they were hired for in the district, and their principal will be there that day, and they will provide a little more about the orientation of the building, beginning of the year routines and procedures, and then they spend the rest of the day with their assigned teacher mentor. And so their teacher mentor will help them, talk about how they might need to set up their classroom or office, what to be prepared for in the first few weeks of school, where to find their curriculum resources. So they spend that rest of that day together with their mentor to start building that relationship that they will have with their mentor throughout the whole school year. And then we have developed a new teacher handbook that provides a month-by-month list of things that the mentor needs to remind the new teacher of. So when you get to October, here's what you need to have prepared for parent-teacher conferences. When your first report card comes out, what do you need to have prepared, and how do you input all of your grades into Infinite Campus and those type of things. So each month it helps them understand what are things coming up that they need to be prepared for, and maybe somebody needs to walk them through. So the handbook's been a very helpful tool as well. And then on the 18th, for our new teachers, they will meet, so all the new first grade teachers will meet together, all the new second grade teachers or 8th grade ELA teachers will meet together, and they will meet with classroom teachers who will walk them through their new resources. So, for example, we feel that it was very important for the first grade teachers, the new first grade teachers in our district, to ask our first grade teachers to say, if I was a brand new teacher, what do I need to know about Wonders to get started in the first 2 weeks? And so I spent a day in June with our current teachers at each grade level, and we developed an orientation for the new teachers into each of our curriculums. So they'll be in the buildings meeting with their grade level teachers, and they're telling them, here's what you need to know to get started. And I wish I knew when I, got started on that first day. So that's a really nice opportunity too, for them to get to know some veteran teachers in our district as well. And then, so we do that at all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. And then that following Monday on the 21st, before all staff report on the 22nd, we have a little bit more of a specialized orientation. So all of our new English language teachers, Julie DeCook will do an orientation with and spend time with them. What are specific things that English language teachers need to know in our district? And then, as well as Whitney Weiss, will meet with our new special education teachers in our district. We're also excited, we had 8 special education staff trained as mentors this year. So we have a lot of our special education staff, because they're very difficult to hire, sometimes don't have the licensing. So now we have mentors specifically trained to work with them. And Whitney and Kim have worked together to assign them to a mentor to support them throughout this first year. So it's really important that hopefully that helps with that teacher retention as well in these areas. So that's kind of just a quick, brief overview of all of the things happening next week. But again, it's very important to us as a district. We know they made a choice to come to Janesville, and we want them to know how much we value them and how much we want to help retain them in our school district. So we hope that all of these pieces throughout the next week are part of what helps them feel welcomed here in our district, so. And you have a copy of that schedule too as well. So any thoughts or questions?
First of all, thank you. I remember my first year as a sixth grade teacher in another district, and I just felt like I was floating and had to learn it all. So I really appreciate all of the changes that have come full circle since I was a teacher, and you provide that extra support for that retention piece. A few questions regarding the mentorship. How are the mentors chosen? Does each building, each level, like elementary, middle, and high school, have a different process in order to be selected? Do you have to volunteer? Are they building principal selected? How does that work?
Sure. So we developed a handbook with specific criteria that, you know, teachers need to have in order to be a mentor, and then the principal has that criteria too and helps select those mentors. But also it's voluntary as well, so. But the teachers do receive a stipend for being a mentor.
That was my next
Yes.
question. I said, do our mentors receive an extra stipend? That was one of my questions.
Yes, they do, and so they'll also.
It's a lot of time. That's a lot of time.
It
That's why
is.
I asked.
And on the 18th, when they're with them and they're building all day, they do complete a timesheet too, so they're paid for that day, as well as they get a stipend for all of the time that they spend in the year working with that new teacher as well.
And then is there some type of structure for the mentor so that they know that they check in? I go back to that comment about how you went through, like, this is what to prepare for October, this is what you should know for, do they meet like at the end of the preceding month to say, this is kind of what that looks like? And so do they have assigned, like, you meet with your mentor once a month, twice a month? How?
Once a week,
Oh, once a week, okay.
yeah, so it's a lot of time.
A lot of
that they-
check-in. Okay.
So, yeah, and we have a group, and actually that's gonna be another PPC presentation, is on our new teacher center, nationally trained mentors. So we have a group that's been trained as National Teacher Center trained mentors, and then we have some that are just, also, we need more mentors than what we've been able to train, so we have some in addition, and we hope to continue to get more
Right.
trained as
Thank
well,
you.
but yeah.
I just wanted to echo that I think this looks really wonderful. And I like how robust the mentor program is. And will the mentors do any like observations or I'm not required necessarily, but are they encouraged to drop in on their mentees' classes and or schedule a time to watch them?
Yes, yep. So
Okay.
that's part of what's in that, month-by-month plan that they follow. It will specifically tell them, by this time, you should have, gone into your mentor's class, and kind of, not in an evaluative way, but in a coaching and supportive way. And then the reverse, where they go in and find a time, or the principal might go in and sub for the teacher, so they can go out and observe other teachers and then come back and talk with their mentor. So that's a really important part of the program too, to help build their capacity as a new teacher.
That's great. Thank you.
I love this. Every year I feel like I just rave about all of this programming, but I know what it's like to be that new teacher who has absolutely no idea what they're doing. I mean, you know your content, but you don't know the district, and you don't know the people and the procedures and the protocols. And I just, boy, if I were to walk into an employer, a new job, and have all of this in place, I would feel so welcomed and so very grateful to see that so many people have put so much effort into my success. And so I just am so thankful. And I don't know that people out in the community really understand how much work and thoughtfulness goes into this. But I mean, I'm just going to continue to sing the praises, because I know every year you're tweaking this and looking, okay, what didn't work? What are we hearing from our staff? Boy, they really need this. And you're so thoughtful to react to what the needs are. And I'm so,
That's how they got 63 people walking through.
yeah, I mean, I'm just so impressed. Because I know there are districts that, you know, like, here are your keys, because I've been there. Good luck. See you later. Good luck. You're not, I mean, I'm not dogging anyone, but I just know what it's like. So thank you. And I'm so impressed with this mentor program. The handbook, whoever thought of that, so smart. How long have we been doing this mentorship style?
I mean, we've been, you know, we've had mentors, I don't know, probably 20 years in the district. More recently, you know, I developed the mentor handbook, and then probably the last 3 years, we've done the National Teacher Center training. So just to kind of, it is important as a mentor to build a certain skill set in helping coach and support new teachers. So I think, you know, all experienced teachers can be great supports and mentors, but there are some certain skills that help with that as well, so. But
Yeah, in the business world, I mean, successful entrepreneurs rave about the importance of establishing mentors in their lives and how important that is. And I'm really happy to see that, you know, we're utilizing these really awesome opportunities for growth. And I know when you teach something, you learn so much more. And so I would imagine that the people who are acting as mentor are improving through the process as well. I'm wondering I'm sure that there's a built-in evaluation process at the end of the program, especially for the new teachers to be able to reflect, like, what if it was really not a great match? We'd want to know that. So do you
I
have
did
anything?
a survey at the end of this year, and so I did a pre and a post survey with the mentors, and so overall, we had about 85% of our teachers that felt they were better teachers because of their mentor, and so then, we had a place for comments too, so there were some that told us, like, I didn't feel like this person was the right fit, or they weren't exactly, you know, in my, like, if you have an art teacher, there's not always another art teacher in the building. We have somebody in the district, but they're not there every day. So we continue to take that feedback and to try and get better about it too, so, yeah. But I also do want to say this week is not just the Learning and Innovation Department, but it's a collaborative effort of all of our departments between special education and HR and the business department. And so, you know, Chris and I appreciate the collaborative effort of everybody in our district department, so.
Thanks again. Thank you, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
I think you planned your vacation well to be really well rested before all of this. Okay, moving on, announcements and updates. Denise, is there anything? I wanted to ask all of us, I'm assuming that this time frame, 4:30, are we the first Monday? Is that, I don't even know what day it is right now. So is that, in the past, we kind of checked in, but we're kind of using the same time from last year. So that's working? Okay, if it ever isn't, so we'll just assume that that is the appropriate meeting time. So schedule your calendars accordingly. And then our next planning session, I don't know. I don't know right now, Denise. Do you know when our next planning session is? Would that be next Monday? The 14th, okay.
At 9:30.
Okay. I need to add that to my calendar. So,
We likely will have to change the
Labor Day.
September meeting, because it's Labor Day.
Labor Day, yeah.
yeah,
I
okay.
have a calendar available, but.
Yeah, we're not meeting that day.
See, she just made an executive decision.
Saying we're not. But my kids would yell at me if I did that. So we'll touch base then to see what makes sense. We'll probably talk about that at the next meeting, and we'll get out to the rest of you. So we have a pretty robust schedule already established for at least the next 6 months. So, but we're always open to suggestions, ideas for PPC to be focused on. So please, if you're thinking about something, let us know, because this is a collaborative effort, and I'm grateful for all the awesome people that we get to work with and learn from and listen to me. And anyway, all right, I think that's it. So we will be adjourning. I don't know, do I do it at the end too?